If you think it's the flashy stuff that finishes tracks, you're wrong. It's taken me 20 years of producing to realise that it's the boring stuff that helps you do less and finish more. So today I'm going to show you 3 dull moves that will make you lethal at finishing tracks. So a few weeks ago I made a video about using field recordings in your music, and someone left this comment, and it inspired me to make this video, because what they were really saying is, I came here expecting a hack, a cheat code, and what you gave me sounds too simple to be the answer. That's the trap. Us producers are addicted to the next dopamine fix, the new plugin or tip or trick, but the things that actually get tracks finished don't trigger the dopamine. It's the unsexy bits, the dull stuff between the exciting moments. It's where the finishing actually happens. So the first dull move is a ritual nobody really talks about, and whenever I forget to do it, nothing in the studio clicks and my music sounds like a limp handshake. Most producers reference their track against other pro tracks at the end or somewhere in the middle. We use reference tracks as a quality check to see if we're in the right ballpark or if our mix stacks up against commercial releases. And I do that a lot, but that's not what I'm talking about here. If you go to the gym, you warm up first. A singer warms up their voice before a performance. You should hear my funny voice warm-ups to prepare my voice for filming this video. And your ears are no different. The first 5 or 10 minutes of any session, you haven't tuned into what good sounds like. If I just dive in and start making decisions cold, I choose weak sounds, I set levels wrong, I add too much reverb, and then later I have to undo all those bad decisions. So at the start of every session, before I open the door, I warm up. I'll play 2 or 3 tracks, usually in the genre I'm working in, and just skip around, only for a few seconds here and there. I'm not listening to them or analysing them. I don't want to be influenced by them creatively. I'm calibrating my ears. I'm reminding myself what good sounds like at the volume I'm about to work at. It's not an exciting or flashy routine, but it changes the entire session. So referencing isn't just for mixing. Warm up before you start to calibrate your ears and you'll make better decisions. Okay, now on to the second dull move. This is the one I had to learn the hard way, and it has bought me back the most time to make music. It makes sense that being more organised helps you finish more tracks, so I tried all of it, tracking my projects in Trello, Notion, Macid, spreadsheets, and every time after a while I noticed I would stop using them because I was typing in boxes about a track that wasn't finished when I could have been finishing the track. Because us humans are experts at procrastination. If you want to avoid a difficult task, suddenly your studio needs tidying, or your sample folder needs organising, or all your plugin presets need renaming. So when using these productivity workflows outside the door, it's the perfect excuse to avoid the hard work. It's admin theatre. You're doing easy tasks, tricking your brain that you're being productive instead of actually doing the hard graft of finishing tracks and putting in the reps. Because the boring admin is dull but easy, making the music, powering through an idea you're stuck on, or pushing a track that's 95% done over the finish line. That's properly dull and properly hard. Now, if you found an admin system that genuinely helps you finish more music, good for you. But for me, all these tools sat outside the music. I'd waste half a session on admin instead of actually working on the track. So I cut it down to the absolute minimum, a to-do list in a notepad. That's it. So the test is an easy one. Is your admin helping you finish more tracks? If yes, brilliant. If you're not sure or it's slowing you down, it's admin theatre. So that's your second dull move. Get rid of all the admin that is not actually helping you finish tracks. Next, the third dull move is the opposite of what most producers do, and it's improved my tracks in ways I didn't expect. Music production templates are the ultimate productivity hack. You can't open Reddit without someone explaining their complex starting templates. Dozens of preloaded channels, instruments ready for every scenario, 12 buses, 8 return tracks, long reverb, long delay, short delay. Here is one of those templates. It took me a while to make this one and tweak it and refine it, and it's not even that complicated. It's just a load of different tracks with different instruments loaded. But as I used this template to make music, I noticed that something was off. Every track started to feel samey because every decision had already been made for me. If I wanted a different bass synth than the one I preloaded, I had to delete it and load a new one, so it hadn't even saved that much time. Instead of speeding me up, the template was locking me in. So I scrapped it and started again. This is the template I use now. It's so dull that it will send you to sleep. I've got a drum rack with kick and snare where layers set up, because setting up stacks like this does take a bit of time. And then I've got a group with sidechain routing already wired up because it saves me routing everything. Once I switched to the dull template, I started finishing more tracks, and more interesting tracks, because it keeps me free and spontaneous. I haven't got all that clutter and baggage to deal with. Now, maybe you agree, or maybe you like stacked templates. Let me know about yours in the comments. But this dull move was definitely a weight off my shoulders. So if you've got a big template you've been using for a while, it's time for a template audit. When you use it, make a note of the things you rarely use and elements you could ditch. Then remove that stuff and resave as a new version. You'll end up with a template that's more streamlined and feels more airy and spacious and creative to use. As you can see here, I made quite a few template iterations by going through that exact process. And for special occasions, the best template of all is no template, just an empty project. So let's recap the 3 dull moves that actually finish tracks. Warm up your ears before you start, bin your productivity admin, and use a dull template that gets out of your way. And if you're left asking, is that it? Yes. The producers who finish tracks have made peace with the fact that the hard work is unsexy. That's the cheat code nobody wants to hear. Now, if you're tired of starting tracks and not finishing them, and you want the full system that takes any loop and turns it into a finished track, that's my loop to track workout. It's streamlined, structured, and it actually works. Find out more at loop2track.com or click the link below. And for some slightly less dull techniques that I guarantee will help you finish more, you'll want to watch this video right here. Oh, and by the way, it's a heat wave in the studio today. Why did I choose to film this on the hottest day of the year? It's a studio sauna.